It was raining that afternoon, the kind of soft, persistent drizzle that blurred the city's sharp edges into watercolor streaks of gray. Sara was late. Her worn-out sneakers slapped against the slick pavement as she weaved through the crowd, balancing two steaming lunch boxes in a tote that had seen better days. Her heart pounded, not just from the rush, but from the weight of everything she carried: responsibility, debt, hope, and fear. She didn't know that within the next 5 minutes, her life would change. That a simple mistake, a collision with a stranger on the steps of an office building, would rewrite her story. She didn't know that the man she spilled curry on wasn't just another client, he was the owner. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the magic of unexpected moments, please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Rapple of Hope. These stories are created to touch hearts like yours. Sara was only 23, but her eyes held the weight of someone much older. Life hadn't been easy. After her father passed away from a heart attack 2 years ago, she dropped out of university to care for her bedridden mother and little brother, Ollie, who was barely 7. She had dreams once, big, colorful ones involving a culinary school and her own cafe, but reality had clipped her wings. Now, she worked for a local kitchen service, delivering homemade meals to office workers, saving every rupee she could to pay rent, medicine, school fees, and the rising electricity bill that always arrived like a threat. That day, she was assigned a new client. It was a last-minute delivery to a posh high-rise in the city center. She had never been to the place before. It reeked of wealth, the kind of wealth she had only seen in TV dramas. She rushed up the steps, drenched and nervous, hoping to drop the food off and run. But just as she turned the corner of the glass lobby, she slammed into someone, a tall man in a black coat who had just stepped out of a luxury elevator. The lunchbox crashed to the floor, splattering lentils and rice across polished marble. The stranger's crisp shirt was ruined. Her breath caught. The world stilled. Panic clutched her throat as she scrambled to apologize, grabbing tissues, stammering apologies, tears welling in her eyes. She expected yelling, fury, maybe even a complaint to her employer, something she couldn't afford. But instead, the man just stood there, staring at her. He wasn't angry. In fact, he looked sad and tired. His voice was quiet when he asked if she was okay. He helped her pick up the mess, even though he was the one now covered in curry. Embarrassed beyond belief, Sara explained it was her fault, that she was late, that she couldn't afford to lose her job. The man said nothing at first, just looked at her like he was trying to understand something deeper than words. Then, out of nowhere, he asked her name. "Sara," she whispered. He gave a small, unreadable smile. "I'm Cameron. I think you were delivering lunch, to me." Her eyes widened in disbelief. He wasn't just a customer. He was the CEO. The owner of the tech company on the top floor. From that moment, everything began to shift. Instead of filing a complaint, Cameron offered her a seat in the office lounge, brought her tea from the machine, and sat with her as she explained her life story in bits and pieces. Something about her honesty, her resilience, stirred something in him. He didn't tell her then, but Cameron had lost someone too. His mother. She had been a single parent who ran a food stall to raise him. Watching Sara reminded him of her, how she worked, how she suffered, how she never gave up. Over the following weeks, Cameron insisted on personally receiving his meals from her. Sometimes they talked about food, sometimes about life, and sometimes they just sat quietly. Sara didn't understand why someone like him would care to listen. But the truth was, behind Cameron's successful exterior was a man struggling with loneliness. He had built an empire, but somewhere along the way, he had forgotten what real connection felt like. Sara's presence was a reminder of everything raw and real. One day, she came in late again, trembling with apology. Her brother had a seizure, and she had to rush him to the clinic before continuing her shift. She tried to hide the worry in her voice, but Cameron noticed. He asked about the treatment, the costs, her work hours. She tried to laugh it off, saying everything would be fine. But later that day, she received a message from her employer. Cameron had paid off her family's medical bills. She didn't know whether to cry or feel ashamed. She had never taken charity. But when she confronted him the next day, Cameron only said, "It's not charity. It's thanks for reminding me what it means to care." Then came the biggest surprise. A week later, Cameron invited her to a meeting. He was launching a new division, focused on community kitchens and affordable food delivery. And he wanted her to lead it. "You understand food, you understand people, and you understand struggle," he said. "That's more valuable than any degree." Sara couldn't believe it. Her dream, her forgotten, buried dream, was being handed back to her. With trembling hands and a heart full of disbelief, she accepted. Months passed. The community kitchen became a success. Families received affordable, nutritious meals. Women like Sara were employed and empowered. Her mother's health improved. Ollie started school again. And Sara, once a delivery girl with tired eyes, now stood in front of investors, sharing her vision with courage and clarity. Cameron watched from a distance, proud and silent. Their bond had never turned romantic, but it had grown into something even more sacred. Respect. Friendship. Healing. It all started with spilled curry and an open heart. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that one act of kindness can change a life, please like, comment, and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to Rapple of Hope for more true-to-heart stories that light a spark in the darkness. Speech balloon before you go, we'd love to know, have you ever experienced a moment where a stranger changed your life in an unexpected way? Comment below, we read every story.